And I said, wow, genetics is really such an amazing science. I'm Elam Sadat Garashi Tabatabi Zobara. I'm very much into science. I'm 34 years old, and I'm Mani's mom. These days, my identity leans more toward being a mother than anything else. The first time I heard that something like this exists, that you can easily take a genetic test and then find out a bunch of things, it was really fascinating to me. I had never heard before that with a simple genetic test, you could learn about behavioral traits, or, for example, diseases a person might get in the future, or who their ancestors were. All of this could be discovered with a very simple test. It was really fascinating to me. The first time I heard about it from someone I knew, I was really amazed. I thought, how interesting. I wish we could do this test for Mani as well. I did it for Mani and my son. He was about 6 or 7 months old when we did the nutrition test. There was also personality and behavioral analysis and ancestry. These were the sets. Yeah, all the tests we did were really good, but for me, the personality analysis was much more interesting. In this test, it turned out that my child is over 90% extroverted. So knowing this, I make sure to take him outside every day, and he's always interacting with others. If I can, I take him to mother and child workshops. This gave me direction in my thinking, that this child needs interaction with others. We can even kind of figure out what kinds of jobs might interest him, like maybe being an entrepreneur would be more appealing to him, or maybe he'd prefer being a top-notch employee. We've now gathered some data that really clarified the path for me and Mani, showing us what we should do, which classes to enroll him in, and how to help him so that what's truly inside him can blossom and come out. I think that's really the mission for us as parents. Now I know that Mani doesn't like repetitive activities at all. Even if we give him the same games or toys during the day, he doesn't like them. He might play with them for just a few seconds. The data I got from this has really made things clear for me. From the start, I found it interesting that these tests can reveal things a person only learns at 30, and they might realize, oh, I was like this. For example, they take a test, but often the results aren't valid or reliable. Why is that? Because, for example, people are influenced by their environment, but war never lies. What you see is what you get. First, we need to become aware of it, and then we can work on improving it. That's how, right now, some options for Mani have been eliminated in my mind. Not that I'm telling him not to go for them, but I know his interests just don't go in that direction because he has certain behavioral traits. The doctor told us that Mani's greatest social asset is exactly these relationships he can build with people. Then she added something else that I found really interesting. She said, I don't think your child is cut out for a regular office job. So we thought, as his parents, maybe we should start laying the groundwork now so he can become a founder or an entrepreneur or something like that in the future. That was really helpful for us. Yeah. Among the things that doctor mentioned during that psychological test, each element she went through was fascinating to me. I even thanked her, and she said, no need to thank me. This is your child's poem. It's his creativity. As for myself, maybe it's because of the environment I grew up in, I don't know, but for example, Mani's creativity was also really high. That was really interesting to me, that his creativity is so strong. Even right now, with the things he has, he finds a way to play with them differently. I'll say, you can even play with this like that. And it was during that test that I realized he has this ability. Then I started paying close attention to the signs, and I saw, yes, she's right, he really does have it. Even with the negative aspects, it's the same way. For example, look, he gets bored really quickly. He needs his environment to change really fast too. That was also true, yeah. I'm saying when my child was born, my son, I really wanted him to be chubby like those plump babies. But from the nutrition test, I realized that I need to pay attention to certain factors. Some things are in his genes, as they say, he absorbs some things more. I can reduce the amount, not eliminate it completely. I even explained this part, the bit where they told us that eating carbohydrates can make him chubby. That really helped me with feeding him. Instead of focusing so much on protein and phosphorus, like for example, kids really like broccoli, I think this eating habit can become a routine for them, so that even if he gets too chubby, which honestly doesn't happen much in our family, we can adjust it. It gave us the awareness of what to do for his nutrition, especially now that all these different diets are so trendy. Yeah, the ancestry part was really fascinating. It was so interesting for us to see how far back it goes. Like, where did our kids' genes come from? On my mom's side, we're Arab, so I knew my son would have a percentage of that. But, for example, the Eastern European part really surprised me that such a high percentage came from there. I was like, wow, genetics is honestly such an amazing science. Yeah, even for the family, they kept asking, what ethnicity is your son? Usually, people only know about their grandparents and maybe a bit further back, but not much more. Yeah, since I did the test for my son, most of the moms would ask me at first, how does it work? What is it exactly? Some of them were really eager to take the test themselves. They asked me for details, asked about the website and everything, and they found it really interesting that someone so young had taken the test. They wanted to know how he did it. Wasn't it hard? Was there blood? This was their blood. Is a question I think I've asked many times, but the fact that with just saliva, it seems you can easily do a test that could have really cool results, and it was really interesting for mothers. I myself didn't know that something like this existed in Iran. When I found out, I was really happy that I could share it with others and recommended it for their kids. Then I realized it could be really interesting for us adults too, with the explanations they gave me. My experience with this test was really positive. Honestly, if someone is concerned about understanding their child's personality or wants to do something for their nutrition, or to see what diseases they might be prone to, genetics can really help them. When people find out, it's like they eat less, saying, hey, we might get this, so it's better not to go near sugar at all because it's poison for us. But once you get the disease, it's no use. No matter how much you tell someone not to eat it, it doesn't help. This test can really shed light on the path for kids and adults toward a healthy lifestyle. The information you get from this test, as they say, can help you choose a career since you'll be spending a lot of time on it. This way, you won't end up saying after a while, I wish I'd chosen a different path. Right now, a lot of people say things like, look how good my memory is, shouldn't I have become a doctor? It can definitely help all of us. I'm telling you, genetics is really important, especially from childhood. Thank you so much. I appreciate your great team. I really enjoyed interacting with each and every one of you. I hope you have lots of success. And I have to say, your colleagues were also really likable. The people I spoke with were very cooperative and patient. Even when I had a few questions outside of the test, they answered them for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wishing you good health, and thank you again.